Boys and girls, what is the goated location or city in Old School RuneScape? There's many chunks, there's many different locations. We actually have 80 in this list, so I will move as quickly as I possibly can, but our factors are, what is the content in that location? Is it iconic? And of course, is it fun? If we get 50 likes or more, we're going to send another tier list. I love making these. Check out our Slayer Locked account as well as our Chunk account as well. And I gotta say, of course, we are in fact an Iron Man main. I am not a goated gamer. I am still getting used to this game. So take all this with a grain of salt, but have fun. Leave a like, leave a comment. Tell me what I got wrong below. And tell me another tier list you want to see in the future. I hope you guys enjoy. Please do subscribe and let's hop into this tier list. We're looking at the OSRS cities and towns tier list here. I've added a few more new locations since the last creator made this. And again, yeah, we're looking at like, hey, how goated is this place? How good is it? How can it stand on its own? And of course, Edgeville's kicking this off. This might end up being our overall best city location because yeah, we got access to Wilderness Slayer here. It's the only spot that you can do it. We've got a fairy ring to get to here really easily. You can even reset your respawn location. You've got the dungeon beneath, you got yew trees. But hey, to talk about Keldagrim, man, yeah, this place is a little slept on maybe, but if you think about it, it actually has more shop locations than any other city in the entire game, which is actually kind of crazy. Also, it might seem a little scary to get to, but you can get there from the Grand Exchange using one of those carts. So just like look at this list, you guys. It's actually mental how much this has, and at least for now, we're gonna be putting it up in A. I think that's fair. But now, dude, if we're talking about this crap city, man, I can't stand it. Like, it's just, it's AIDS, getting through it for the quest. Like, just look at this, man. It sucks. I remember doing this without RuneLite like back in the day, and it was terrible. If you're gonna come here and kill vampires, great. There's literally like a single shop here, that's it. It's really bad, man. Of course, like if we expanded beyond the city borders and like we're gonna count something, you know, like doing the raid, then yeah, then okay, we could say it's a little bit better, but as it stands, as its own little location, there's really nothing good here whatsoever. So we're retitling this the the F tier useless section. But hey, yo, man, Lunar Isle, dude. So just to show this to you, Baba Yaga's here, and she actually has access to amazing spells. You also can get the Lunar Spellbook here, and then of course, yeah, like go pick some flax, I guess. So pretty solid place. Talk about Bedapin Camp, man. It's pretty much useless. It's easy enough to get to. You do need it for some diary steps. It's over here, but like, look at this. There's like nothing. Absolutely nothing other than like dart tips and I guess an anvil. So pretty much having useless as well. And it's going all the way down there in the F tier. Maybe D. I don't know. We'll be sorting this out because again, we got to get through like 70 things, you guys. But hey, let's chill back, relax. I know it's vacation in summer for many of us. And I love this little Easter egg of this gnome just chilling up here on top of this mountain, even though it's like bloody snowy and cold. So this is actually going to be the stronghold here, man. The troll stronghold. And, you know, it's okay, yeah, you can train some combat, there's some quests here, but really what's so great is that for Herbalore, you have a patch there for your herbs that will never die if you unlock it. Only real reason that you're going to be going here. I can't say too much more about it, honestly. But that means we're at Lumbridge, boys. Lumbridge, we got Bob's Axes. This is the start of the game. It's iconic. It's amazing. It certainly deserves to be all the way up here. I don't know if I would say S tier because, like, it's very basic, but that's what's iconic about it. So like iconic factor certainly could be up here, but in my opinion, Edgeville is just as iconic, but better. But boys, to talk about these next two, man, Zolandra is where Zulrah lives, go figure. Really the only reason to come here, other than I guess a little bit of fishing, it is insanely easy to get to for that convenience factor, like literally use fairy ring right here. Zolandra, if I think I said that right. And then of course we got Lands and another like maybe kind of forgotten chunk, but it's honestly really noob friendly. Like if you're making a chunk account, I could see people be doing this. But so I would say because of that, let's put it in C tier. It really only has one function, just like the Troll Stronghold. Even though again, I know some of y'all are going to say Troll Stronghold has more, but more or less on its own with one. And then of course Land's End, like lots of little newbie things here, so certainly better than like Bandon's Camp, but really nothing too special that we can think of. But Relica, man, obviously Relica is iconic, it's famous, a lot of, YouTubers have started chunk accounts here, and again, like, it's a bridge to so much future content. But again, if we're rating these towns on their own, okay, Thieving doesn't even really have a bank, honestly, unless you unlock the deposit box. So I think like B tier is fine. But let's talk about Port Sarim, man. Port Sarim next on the list, and again, trying to move this quickly for you guys. I know we could be saying so much more about all these places, but Port Sarim has a ton of transportation options, a ton to get here, also a ton of ways to get to other locations. Again, it's also noob friendly. It's also got a few shops, including where you can go and buy some eyes and newt. So really, like, very great. It's even how you're gonna go and get to places, like to go get your void armor. So really, just all in all, I think kind of like slept on of a chunk. It has a lot of potential, a lot of future that it gets to. But boys, let's compare this then to the next main like section of Arceus. So Arceus, of course, has the Arceus Spellbook. It also has the Arceus Library, which is a great way to train your magic and your rune crafting. Really unique like chunk location, and of course all the shops there too for runes. So all in all, I would say I think it deserves to go higher, but maybe that's going to trigger you guys. I don't know. In fact, let's just reshuffle this around. I think Arceus should be even higher up here. Keldagrim's great. Lunar Isle, of course, Spellbook. Arceus Spellbook. So it really does make sense for both of these to be here. I think that's fair. But Arceus, a little bit more potential, so I think let's move it up to here. But hey, let's talk about Bandit Camp, man. If you guys don't know from my Slayer Lock series, I've actually spent a lot of time here. If you don't have the ability to high out, this is like your best shop to sell stuff and get more money than normal, which is amazing. But then, of course, if we're going to be talking about Latia next, another chunk that I've been in recently with our Slayer Locked account, a lot more features here than Bandit Camp, but not really useful or unique features. So Bandit Camp, I think, since it has a unique, special, like one-off feature, let's put it here with Troll Stronghold. But for Latia, has a lot more like Relica, but it's not really anything super special to write home about. So I think like maybe right behind Relica, because Relica is just more iconic. Port Sarim, still a lot more uses, so we're gonna move that up to B. But hey, Courser Cove, man. So again, a chunk that doesn't have a lot to say about it other than these guys. Down in the dungeon, amazing moneymaker for noobs and for Slayer. I've been spending a lot of time there. But, yo, let's talk about Morton, man. Morton is a chunk that has so much content to it, so much for, like, a little city and town. Kind of like West Ardoin, but West Ardoin just has less. It's, like, dead. Yeah, there's some monsters you can kill. Also a shop that you can make some good money at. But I think because of that, West Ardoin is certainly going to be going a little bit lower here. Maybe, like, C tier. I don't know. I'm going to have to revisit this for sure. Like, this is going to constantly keep getting tweaked. But for Morton, man, dude, this isn't even B tier. Like, I think this might be A. We've got access to, of course, Barrows Brothers. It's an easy place to get to. It has its own little bank and shop that you can, of course, build. It has a mini game. It has so many features that the only reason why I'm even hesitating here is that, of course, Port Sarim's just more overall useful. But Morton, like, is a part of your journey on your account. Bandit Camp, really can't say much about it. It's basically like a dead chunk to my understanding. Little small, like, little village there. So whatever. I think it deserves to be down here with Bedman. But maybe I'm going to get flamed for that one too. I don't know. But hey, Witch Haven, dude. Witch Haven, I personally actually have a soft spot for this place. I think it's beautiful. Like, let me just show you guys. Look at this. It's so unique. Like, absolutely beautiful. You really only come here for, like, Slug Menace. So, gorgeous place. Nothing good about it. But if we're talking about Merim, which I didn't even know that was the name of this until starting this video. I always just call this Ape Atoll. I'm assuming you guys do as well. But look how much content we have here in Ape Atoll, or again, Merim. Like, it's just a very well-rounded little city town. In fact, with the stalls, being able to get access to a dragon scimitar here is one of the few spots that you can, like, well, actually, the only spot to my knowledge you can buy one. I think it has to be at least in the B tier because of that. Certainly better than something like West Ardoin. A little bit more useful than like Relica, but I don't know if I'd put it higher than Port Sarim just because that's a little bit more noob friendly, a little bit more iconic, obviously easier to get to. but Merrim is going to be more helpful to the overall growth of your account. Speaking of the growth of your account, Void's Knight, man. So this is, of course, like Void Knight armor. So good to get here, but also you have a few shops and a bank as well. So more slept on. It's not just a mini game chunk, and of course you can really like train your stats here as well. So I really like Void Knight. I would say it certainly should go higher. But our next little city town is Shiloh Village, which of course has Durdell. It has the Slayer Cape, best Slayer Master arguably. You can do fishing, you've got gems, it's easy to get to. Amazing, amazing location for sure. But perhaps something that beats out this city and all other cities is Prifddinas. Like, man, yeah, it's hard to get to. You got a complete Song of the Elves, but it has just about everything you could ever want other than like a Slayer Master. And it's an amazing chunk. It is so well rounded. Of course, it has access to the Gauntlet, which is arguably one of the best like mini games in the game. Basically Dungeoneering from RuneScape 3. So really, for that alone, this is gonna have to go high. So now I'm really starting to struggle, boys. Like, man, we are getting a pretty solid list, but I think Prif is simply has to be an S tier. But like, I love Lumbridge, I love Edgeville. I think they both have great merit to stand on their own. But I think Prif certainly has to be at the top of S. It's got everything other than like that Slayer Master, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Don't flame me too hard. What do you guys think? Shiloh again could be S tier or at least the top of A. Ah, dude, it's tricky, man. I could even still make an argument to move Morton up higher. So like, this is all fluid as of right now, but even these two could switch, like Edgeville and Shiloh. I don't know. For now, I'm going to leave it like this. What do you guys think? Next up is a place called Sleep or Sleep. Basically a little coastal town. Nothing crazy to write home about. You got an anvil. You got some monsters to kill. But it's really nothing too special. Like, yeah, you can restore your prayer here, but even without a bank, it just makes this a little lackluster, so you can guess where it's probably going to go. But then meanwhile, you got places like Darkmire, which has the Hauled Zuckwepper, of course the Dale Essence Mines, you know, you can farm blood shards here. It's just like really the pinnacle of all the vampire content. So certainly like a much better city town location. All in all, very well rounded, easy. So now that means, let's say Slape, of course, is going to be on the lower end here, probably like ahead of these camps. Courser Cove, though, I can't see it going above Courser Cove. How did Courser Cove get so low on this list? Not like there's a lot there, but at least there's a bank and actually a decent spot to train combat and make money as compared to Slape. So certainly should be higher than Slape. In fact, maybe even up here, maybe move Witch Haven down. I love the aesthetics, but that's not a good enough reason to keep it that high. Darkmire, you know, of just so well-rounded. Best agility spot in the game, really. Of course, you have access to blood shards. Great for thieving or, well, GP per hour from thieving. I think at least here's fair, but it could even go higher than Merrim and Apatol. It's for sure tricky because Darkmire could go higher, like if you really enjoy the agility and the Hollow Zuckwepper. But I don't know. I think Morton's fair. I think let's slide this up a bit. But again, we'll be tweaking this as we go, you guys. I like this, maybe higher than Port Sarim. Which means next up we've got Sayers Village, man. Dude, for me this was iconic. This was really the first place I went to as a member. You had your yew trees, you had your flax, you had magic trees, you have agility. There was so much to do here. It was a fun area to explore, and it's very well rounded. Meanwhile, we got the city of Dorgesh next. Very unique features like the ability to take bones and turn it into construction experience. You've seen YouTubers come here, but I just don't really think it's a utilized area of the world. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to go that high, but at least it's unique. So boys, let's rattle this off quick, man. Like, here we are so far off our list. I think Sears Village, man, at least is around here in upper B. Love Port Sarim, but Sears just a little bit maybe more iconic. Dorgesh on the other side is probably on the low end of B. I think that's fair. Void Knight, like again, that's going to give you some endgame armor, man, or at least high upper mid game. And then, of course, Atrana, I don't think we need to say much about it. If you guys don't know what this is, that's fine, but you get your own little kingdom, and basically it's a great way to get resources in a passive, kind of free way. And then Yanil, man, dude, Josh is in gaming, goated YouTube creator, definitely up there in like some of my all-time favorites. He's really spoken a lot about Yanil. Very well-rounded, unique, old area of the game. That, like, again, you're not going to go there and find yourself some high-end game boss. You're not going to get some high-end game gear. but it's a unique place. It has a lot of cool features to it. So, like, yeah, I think around there is about accurate. I can't see myself putting it much higher. What do you got? Alright, let's knock out a few more no-name ones. Again, to save time, I am trying my best to move through this as quickly as possible. This is already looking way too long of a video. Hamsterman, basically a little village right next to the Fishers Guild. If you're counting the Fishers Guild with it, which, like, I don't even know if it technically is, then sure, it can maybe go higher. But that's all this is, and it's a very dead chunk even with the Fishing Guild anyway. So I think here's about fair. Barbarian Village, man, like, yeah, you go get your 10k gold. There's, of course, a dungeon to kill some monsters. So for free to play, I think this is fair, but I can't really put me much higher. Fisher Realm, you go here for literally a single quest. There's nothing else to it. Actually, I guess there's a clue scroll step there. I still think down here in the F tier is more than accurate. There's no reason. If someone ever makes a chunk account here, that'd be amazing. Alright, now we got two hot takes, man, back to back. Canifist, dude, for one, people rave about the agility here. I don't really think that it's all that special. Rather, it's very useful to quests. There is a Slayer Master, granted a crap one. And then we have Al Kharid, man. Agility course that's completely overlooked. And yeah, like, I guess a few quests, low-level skilling, basically worse. And then that leaves us with Tree Gnome Village, man. Like, the Ugly Duckling compared to the Stronghold, really nothing special here. A few monsters you can kill. I guess you got a quest named after it and a few other quests locked behind it. Really, that's it. Thieving, whatever. Alright, boys. So, Canivus, man. Like, for sure. Probably right around here, I think, looks fair. You know, both got agility courses. Sears is just obviously better. I guess Canvas has a Slayer Master and it has, like, maybe more quests to it. Al Kharid, I kind of like it, like, maybe around Barbarian Village. I think that makes sense. It's just better than Barbarian Village, but it really ain't much to write home about. We got Tree Gnome Village, man. We, of course, already called it the Ugly Duckling. It's relevant to a few quests. It has a few monsters in it, a shop. So I think that's about it. Down here makes sense. It's kind of crazy because to see like Lumbridge so high versus something like Al Kharid that's similar, but I think this makes sense. Like Al Kharid. Musa Point, man, dude, absolutely nothing to write home about. There's the banana plantation. That's really it. It literally says here, miscellaneous, there's a few things to do on the island. So sufficient to say, this is nothing to write home about. We're moving on. Nearly, like, as unrelevant is Mulch, man. Literally, you can restore your prayer, you can go kill some lizard shamans, so I guess that has some relevance, but that's literally it, nothing else. But yo, anyway, man, so here's our list so far. Do like, subscribe. If you enjoy these videos, I make tier lists every so often. I also really do enjoy having my two unique accounts right now, but I think Musa Point, without further ado, is probably right around here, right with Mulch. I think Sleep just has a little bit more to them than both of them. Maybe you could say Musa's more iconic. Catherby, though, of course, extremely iconic. I don't even think we need to talk a whole lot about it. You've got farming, you've got dungeons, you do have ports, you do have fishing where we spend so much time at. It's just very much an easy spot to get to as well, but I can't really see me actually putting it up in A. Same thing with Sears Village. Like, it's just... Sears is probably more useful, if we're being honest. But for now, I really do like it. I think at the top of B. Port Persilius is up next, man, and it's very well rounded. You can go and buy sharks here, one of the only shops that can do that. Angler, fish, thieving, low-level mining, low-level hunter. Not bad of an area for sure, but obviously nothing super iconic either, and maybe even hated a little bit. But then another city, man, is actually Shazian. So yeah, there's some good combat training here. There's some decent shops. But really, like, outside of that, even less to say about it. So, let's see. Port Persilius, man. This is, like, a little tricky for me because, again, I'm not as familiar with these areas, hence why I'm doing a chunk-locked account. But I do think about C is fair. It has, like, obviously endgame fishing available to you. And then Shazian, like, I would say, yeah, it's probably better than the Bandit Wilderness Camp. But, like, Solra is certainly just more... Oh, I don't know. It's only Zora. Yeah, let's keep it higher because Zora is just more useful overall, especially endgame. Ferox Enclave. Again, boy, this place speaks for itself, you guys. At least A tier, in my opinion. A nice, amazing minigame. Last man standing. Of course, you can respawn here. It's close to Varrock. It has access to the wilderness. Very great spot. we're gonna come back to Varrock, boys, you know, for good reasons. But Polnovich, like, yes, we got agility. Yes, you got some quest here. You got blackjacking. You have blackjacking. So I think for that alone, it's gonna be at least in B tier, maybe even a little higher. I don't know. I don't know. And then Oasis, dude. And then for Usur's Oasis, man, like, yeah, there's some trees. I think like teak there. You can get clay, and a few new monsters. Now, for another city I just can't say a lot about, Narda, man. Like, yeah, I guess it's useful for training Herbalore as an Iron Man, but beyond that, really nothing special. So I don't know, like, where does maybe middle at best. So let's start placing these boys. You know, Narda, man, it's just, where's it going on this? Where do you think? I think here maybe. Like, certainly like Witch Haven, you can't be higher than that. Oasis should be pulled down. I would even say we might be pulling that down more because Gnome Village, like, maybe. But if we're talking about Tree Gnome Stronghold, though, nah. I honestly think, man, this might be A. This might be like mid-A. Varrock's Enclave, like, yeah, I love it. I love both these. I love all of these locations, you guys. But it's just like, let's just think about this. We got Slayer here. We've got the ability to fly all around with the gliders, man. You've got low-level agility. You got, like, thieving. You've got combat. Dude, it's certainly A. I'm just not sure where. And then when it comes to the Isles, like Lunar Isle and Arceus, both have spell books. Both do have other content, but not much. So is this spell book really worth more than everything you get from, like, Tree Gnome Stronghold? And then, of course, Varrock, let's talk about it, man, is certainly S tier. You've got dungeons. You've got the Grand Exchange alone, which would help it be all the way up here. You got Bank Standing. It's iconic. It's one of the oldest regions in the game, perhaps one of the most recognized other than Lumbridge. At least S tier. We're going to rethink all of this later for sure. Now, maybe I'm letting my bias show, but Mount Karum, if I'm saying that one right, is one of my favorites, you guys. New region, new Slayer Master, arguably the GOAT. You have access to mods just specific to this area. There's also a furnace, you guys. Like, getting there is easier of teleportation. In fact, there's even a weapon shop. Very well-rounded of a chunk, especially if you're here for Slayer, combat, easy to get. Then we have Port Khazard, which, yeah, you can do cooking and mining and a bank, you know. So it's decent. But really, it's a fishing trawler minigame. That's the whole purpose of it. Yeah, you got charter ships. It's an okay chunk. It's certainly not one of the worst ones, but really nothing too special for a city or town. Boys, all right, let's talk about this, man. We're definitely going to start rattling these off quicker now. So, Konar, all things considered, of course, we've already talked about all the skilling of the chunk. I think, like, really, this is just going to be Slayer, honestly. And for that reason alone, it's going to probably be like top of C. Maybe bottom of B. Well, we can always rethink that. Which, speaking of rethinking, Keldegrim, I already think I'm going to get in trouble from you guys having it this high on the list. So let's lower it a little bit. But again, amazing smithing experience here. So I don't know, dude. Like, I kind of like having it high. East Ardoin, of course, is the better part of the two Ardoins. Great thieving, agility, quests. You know, just maybe an iconic city, but I don't think it's iconic to the level of Varrock and Edgeville, and certainly not as much uses. Like, sure, some dungeons too and whatnot, but I think somewhere in B is fair. Maybe a little higher up in B, and let's pull that down. Port Khazard, man, of course, minigame's really the main thing. It's not even that good of a minigame. I guess Angler's outfit or something. But beyond that, like, yeah, you can do some skilling here, I guess. So I think there's fair. Taverley, though, this is going to get me in a lot of trouble because, of course, man, you unlock Herbalore. Like, you cannot have Herbalore without this chunk. You've got the chest, the crystal chest that you go and open. So you got the Taverley dungeon. You know, I would actually think somewhere in the A tier is fair here, but I could be wrong. Maybe upper B. I'm not sure. This is where we're sitting at now, but there's more tweaking. And oh wow, still haven't done Hosidius yet. So obviously this is going to go near all the others. I do think maybe a little bit more popular in my mind than like Shazian, but I don't like it more than Zulrah. But obviously a little bit more well-rounded. Man, I don't know. For there, let's let it sit for a second. Then we have Sophaheim, dude. Man, so you got Pyramid Plunder, city that's easy to get to, actually has a lot of shops, a lot of different functionality to it. Actually, I think it's like one of the second largest cities according to the wiki, which is nuts. Better than you think. Back to the tier list. Let's go. So let's see. Sofheim, I think because it's a larger city, has a lot to do in it. It is like very relevant to all the desert quest line. I think there's fair. So now these next two are really a pair. We have Jatizo. I think like this is going to be lower C, probably higher than Witch Haven for being honest. And then Nezi not. So of course we get the Nezi helm from both of these, but really Nezi is better because you do have the axe there. You do have access to ice trolls. It's kind of similar to Courser Cove, so maybe Courser Cove should be a little bit closer. Both have like one decent money maker, honestly. So I think this is fair to have them near each other, but let's keep this rolling. So mostly harmless, man. That's how I've always said this. I don't even know if that's right. Really, this is, of course it's got a minigame, which is absolutely useless, but you get your Black Mask from here. That's the big selling point. And then Miscellanea. Let's take Miscellanea back up here with Atrana. I can't believe I didn't do this earlier. They're basically one and the same. Miscellanea is just obviously like what comes first. So I think that should be in front because that's the first quest. That might be the dumbest reasoning ever. Rivington. Let's jump to Rivington. That's a classic, iconic, but there's really not a lot to it. In fact, there's not even a bank, man. But what is special is that this is how you get to a lot of the other parts of the game as a noob. And of course, you've got your house here. Like, this is really where construction begins for many players, if it's not Varrock. Dorgesh Khan, I put this a lot. It seems like too high as I now start to look at this. Like, again, I think your Black Mask, again, Slayer biased Iron Man, sorry, but Dorgesh Khan, man, like, very cool, like, definitely slept on place, but I think I'd rather have my Slayer helm than having all the fun that you can have there. This looks fair to me. I think this is good. Oh, Weiss as well. Again, quest location, very minimum reasons to ever go there. I think going above the Oasis is fair. Probably should be above Witch Haven. I don't know. Then we got the Piscatorus Colony, man. You come here for Monkfish, man, and for a master level quest. Really nothing crazy. And then honestly, even worse, dude, you come here to kill ogres. You come here literally for a rock cake to kill yourself. Like, this chunk's terrible. Then we got Port Phasmatis, dude. So great way to train prayer, as well as an easy teleport to a portion of the map that, unless you're using like all these ships, not a whole lot of ways to get here. So definitely useful. Definitely something that I wouldn't say should be slept on, but not maybe anything too amazing about the chunk beyond that either. Then we have Lova King. So anyway, I don't know if I'm saying that right. And we're seeing a trend here with all of Greater Karen. Each city here like specialized in something. This has got blast mining, and then it's also got Lovakite ore. That's really it. Yo, we are in lightning round now. Let's get this going, man. So we got Monkfish, dude. It really is one of the main reasons to come here. Yeah, you can get seaweed. Yeah, you can do some cooking. I guess you can train on some skeletons that I forgot to mention. Some magic skeletons. I think about here is fine. The fishing colony, it's okay. So let's just talk about this. You guys want to go get your rock cakes to kill yourself? Great. But other than that, there's some ogres. There's like a single quest. It is what it is. Fort Phasmatis, very good for, of course, as we already were sharing earlier, getting your prayer up. Decent locations that you can travel to. Beyond that, like, really, it's honestly kind of a nuisance, and I think this is already a little too high. Then we got to talk about really just a chunk that, as we already shared, is just for mining, for smithing. You can make armor that's not even that good here. Really one of the worst cities that was added in Greater Karen. So I think just putting it like below Shazian's fine. But even then, maybe I might rather have the bandit camp over this. Let's move the bandit camp up. Mounts and Cabby, dude. F tier, useless, dude. Like, there's a single quest you come here for. There's not even any training. It's even a little of a nuisance to get to, so let's just leave it here below. Fisher Realm is fine by me. Tijuana, man, we got a mini game, you guys. We got a mini game. You have some decent skilling, like in the forms of like wood cutting, fishing. You have access to a shop here that is at least, you know, okay. Gout tuber, so it's all right. It's really nothing fun, but you do need this to get to places like Shiloh. So yeah, I think that's fair. Ferrying to get to. Location's not bad. Relatively iconic, not really. Maybe Dorgesh Khan's higher just because a little bit more usefulness there, honestly. Now I'm gonna surprise you guys here. Gwyneth, man. So I really actually like Gwyneth. I spent a lot of time here in leagues. It's very newbie. I get it. Yeah, you can get some woodcutting. You can get some fishing. There's actually some okay trees. It's right next to Prif, man. And like, yeah, you can train cooking here. So like, it's cute. It's small. It's a little well-rounded. But I don't think it's as bad as it could be. But boys, Tutorial Island, man, you could call this useless because you can't even get back to it. But on the flip side, I would call it iconic, and literally as iconic as Lumbridge. Like, everyone has experienced Tutorial Island. Some people maybe have never left Tutorial Island. I don't know. It's kind of right up there with like, wow, killing boars right in that like shire. Like, I don't know. It's hard to say. It shouldn't probably be S tier, surely, because you can't get back to it. There's not really any actual skilling you can do here. Has someone tried? Is there a chunk account or something where someone has tried to just start in Tutorial Island and stay there as long as possible? I don't even know. I really don't know. I think it's more likely to say that this should probably be like A tier, but maybe I'm crazy. Do you guys think, like, am I cooking with that? Am I not? I don't know. Let's drop it in A. But hey, yo, so Entrana, man, another one of those places that at least you can get back to it, you know. Very low level skilling. There is like what, farming there, but of course you do get your you go there for Lost City, so you can get access to fairy rings eventually, make a Draymond staff. I guess like I've seen some people even like lock themselves here, which good for them. There's what, a few monsters you can train on. There's a little bit of skilling you can do. You can, you know, like blow sand. Really nothing too good about it, to be honest with you. I think it's kind of like right around West Ardoin on usefulness, man. And even then, I don't know. But Falador, baby. Okay, so Falador. We have the Falador Massacre. Instantly jumps this guy up there. That's like one of the most iconic events. If we're talking about iconic places and the fact that the Falador Massacre, it's literally in the name, happened there, I think for that reason it could be up in S. We have the mole, okay, like whatever. You have farming, sure. Actually, RuneScape 3 smithing is actually really like important here because there's a smithing guild. But again, this is old school RuneScape, so like not factoring that in, just a fun little fun fact. But I like it in S tier, you guys. You can even respawn there. But I don't know. Maybe it's S. Maybe it's like top of A. It's kind of tricky, man. It's kind of tricky. Shiloh, I really want to put Shiloh up here, but I don't think it's as well known. It's like for sure for us that have been playing for a long time, obviously. Birthrobe, by the way, though, this is again a controversial pick here, man. I think when I think of Birthrobe, I always think of Taverley. Like, they're just like one and the same because of how close they are to each other. I know that is so not true, like lore and everything else. But like, this is like the start of your Slayer journey for the most part. And everyone is coming back here because of tutorial skipping. Of course, you get access to the Rogue's outfit. So, I don't know, man. Like, Birthrobe's got more than meets the eye about it. And I just think I'm doing a disjustice to not keep these two together. But that being said, Tree Gnome Stronghold is just better. Bird of Rot, man. What? You gotta go fix this up. It's in a quest line. Yes, we got a mini game there. That's fair. And you can kill shades and stupid snails. Like, I don't know. Maybe right around there. I guess with it being a mini game, it could be a little higher. Definitely need to move Port Tyra. I just kind of threw that there. That's embarrassing. Yeah, well, that's going to get moved. Ignore me. Awkward. But yeah, let's just say bottom of B for Bird of Rot. Again, mini game, importance of quest. There is some skilling there to say the least. But it really might even be in C. But now for Zenaris, man. So, again, might be showing some bias here. But, dude, you've got access to one of the best places for Hunter through here. But, yes, you can get there other ways as well. Obviously, you got a Slayer Master, which that's very, like, unique considering there's, what, 7 Slayer Masters across, like, these 80 chunks that we're talking about, or little cities. There's a lot you can actually do. You can do cooking. There's shops. You can go buy, what, your Dragon Dagger and Longsword here. So, like, as an Iron Man, very useful, but for maybe a main account, how much time are you really going to spend here? I don't know. I don't know. This is a tough one. I think like putting an A is probably more accurate. Slayer Master's also never really used, if we're being honest. So maybe below Turtle Island, I think is a good idea. Oh, dude, I don't know. I don't know. So, okay. So, hey, obviously, man, this is where you're gonna go to get your Fire Cape. Eventually your Inferno. It's you actually do have skilling here as well, you know, like you can get runes. You're not being able to use normal GP. Certainly unique, but how well known is it? I'm not too sure. I can't even pronounce the bloody names. That's why I'm not trying, boys. But if we're talking Fire Cape, if we're talking usefulness, maybe not super iconic, but the items from it are. I think an A is valid and probably above Keldrigan. Now, Kingstown, I certainly have a bias for because, yeah, I just did start my first ever chunk account here on the Deadman Worlds. Go check them out if you want to see it. But yeah, I think Kingstown, because you got, what, the Catacombs of Kourend, you've got some training methods there, you've got skilling. It's actually probably the best part of all of Greater Kourend for sure. Then let's talk about Brimhaven, man. So obviously you got agility methods there, which isn't bad. You've got your pirates, you got farming. It's easy enough to get to with charter ships. So I don't really know. I kind of struggle on where to put this. Like even construction, you have the dungeon there to go fight monsters in. It's actually more well-rounded of a chunk than I would care to admit or recognize. Questing that happens through Brimhaven as well is quite a lot of them, honestly. But it's just like one of those things that I don't think much of it when I think of like the original like location. So I might be putting it somewhere around here, at least for now. Maybe it should be a little bit higher. Probably surely it should be like Troll Stronghold. Really doesn't have as much to offer as this, to say the least. And really we could probably flip these guys like. But now, for this next one, you guys, Harmony Island, dude. If you come here for anything other than farming, I think you're crazy. I don't even do a lot of farming, so I am never here. Maybe I'm wrong. And then with the Quetzalcoatl Gorge, man, dude. So talking about the Valamor areas really is our last thing here. Actually more rounded than I would have thought. I can't really say I've ever spent a lot of time here. Maybe you guys have. But yeah, even a Master Farmer, kind of cool. Alright, so let's get this done, you guys. We're at the end. We will do a quick little overview as well. Harmony, I just gotta be honest, at least being honest with myself, I think it's D tier here. Like, at least it has something to keep it out of the F tier. That's really what the F tier has become. Just absolutely useless things. But now to talk about the most iconic thing out of all of Valamar, that really out of all the, last year now of content that we've just gained, having the Colosseum, having amazing thieving methods, lots of shops, lots of new content, farming, certainly should be up here in A, if not higher. We will revisit. Draenor Village, obviously iconic. I would say as iconic as Catherby, certainly probably more. Master Farmers, all those time chopping willow trees, but I don't want to put it too much higher than that. Alderaan, man, like what? You come here for a quest. It's actually got a few cool things to it. You got, what, I think an unlimited thread out of this, if I'm not mistaken. But that's pretty much it. Putting it up here in B is generous at best. And then the gorges, we were just sharing. Actually, a lot of like small, like beginner-friendly stuff. If you're stuck in Valamar, this is probably really helpful to your account. But to everyone else, to Ironmen, to mains, I think C's fair. And even then, that's being generous, putting it that high. So, to relook at our S tiers, you guys, Prif or Varrock? Prif or Varrock? I think it has to be Varrock. We even have Scurius that's come out now, which is given like a real boss for this area. And of course, again, the Grand Exchange, being close to Edgeville, as old as time. I think that's fair. Looking at the air tier, I want to bring up the Enclave higher. Again, I'm showing my bias, but I do think it should be higher. Same with Morton as well. Tree Gnome Stronghold, I really do love it, but I think this is a fair spot for it. But I think Fortis should probably go higher. Like, it's going to be so good, you guys. I really do think that's going to become a staple of this game. It's amazing how much Jagex has done. But yeah, looking at this, what do you guys think? Say in the comments below again what we should have done differently, what could be better or worse. Leave a like and we'll do another one of these. If we get to 50 likes, man, it'll be the next video that I prioritize. That being said, have a good day. God bless you guys. Bye-bye.